because I wasn't paying attention, at some point we lost Shadowheart, and I don't know exactly where. Just kind of stupid of me, but whatever, we'll find her. She's wandering around, getting in trouble. Hey, my name is Jim Zub. I'm the author of the Dungeons & Dragons Young Adventurers Guides and a multitude of D&D comics. And I love playing games and I love sword and sorcery. I am a bit of a Baldur's Gate junkie. When I play Dungeons & Dragons, the tabletop game, I am usually the dungeon master, which kind of works well for an author. So I'm just gonna random it. I think that will be kind of fun because I want to dive into the play of the thing. Maybe I will customize some of the features and whatnot of the appearance. Oh, there you go. That is a heck of a hairdo, I gotta tell you. I don't know if I think I need to fix that hair, but we're getting there. We're doing some good stuff, let's put it that way. Can I lower the maturity? I'm a very immature person, so I will just lower the maturity. But lots of freckles, yes. Freckle intensity. That's like on my, that would be on a dating profile. What is your freckle intensity? There we go. Springtime entanglement? Is that the name of that hair? Oh my God. That's a potent sounding, whoa. All right. We're in the perms. We're in some, that is one for the ages. That is like Favio meets, I don't know, strawberry shortcake? Like what is that? That's incredible. Holy moly. All right, hold on. These are, I write Conan the Barbarian. And if that hair was dark, it would almost be Conan, but it also looks like skipping through the tulips or something. All right. Wow, party in the back. What are we doing? There's actually might be too many hairstyles. That's fascinating. There we go. Sure. I like it. Review character. So the default character name, of course, in Baldur's Gate is Tav. So just for ease of, I will keep that. Why not? Next. All right, and then you do your Guardian. I'm gonna random that. Cool. Fantastic. Yes. Now we shall venture forth. So I was on the early access because I was working on official comics based on the Baldur's Gate stuff. So I played through 3 times on the early access, the beta or whatever they were calling it. And then I've played through 3 more times on the launch version. And at some point, apparently I get work done. I don't know when, but I must at some point. Man, they just don't know how to drive these nautiloids anymore, do they? Man, sad but true. He's got a jaunty run. For someone who's been imprisoned and has a tadpole on his head, he seems pretty upbeat. He doesn't, I don't know if I would be as kind of skippy jumpy, but I'll take it, like it's fine. Lae'zel, everyone's favorite, super duper angry, amazing warrior. I almost always have Lae'zel in my party, and by the end of the game, she is a damage monstrosity. She can put down almost anything with that action surge. It is awesome.
What is it like playing through Baldur's Gate and being good at D&D?
It's the weirdest feeling working on D&D because I grew up on D&D. I wouldn't be a writer without Dungeons & Dragons. It taught me to be creative. It gave me an immediate audience for my creativity. My older brother and I, we started playing together, and just that act of, on my turn, he has to listen to me, first of all, and second of all, I have to listen to him, and we're gonna collaborate together and we're gonna make this thing. And neither of us know where it's gonna go, but when it's all said and done, we're gonna have these cool memories together. And it was like performative, and it was interactive, and it was engaging, and it made me want to tell stories for the rest of my life. Other than that, nothing, it was just pretty straightforward. No, really, D&D is so formative to me. And to see it being embraced now so fully in pop culture, I couldn't have imagined a game of this fidelity or this kind of intensity. It just seems crazy to me that this thing even exists. And the crew at Larian are clearly so passionate about the game and the world the way that I am. And so many of us that we get the chance to contribute to to the worlds of D&D. But what's great about it is it's not, no matter who you are as an author or an artist, you don't have the final say. The game is interactive, so you're making things at your table that no one else will make. And that's one of the things I love about it. So much of the entertainment in our lives is passive. You know, we're watching a movie or TV or reading a book or whatever. And Dungeons and Dragons as a tabletop game is interactive. And that's one of the things I think is so glorious about it. Makes it very special, you know, for me. And every time I think about the fact that I get to be involved with this stuff, it's kind of mind-bending. Someone asked me this weekend here at Comic-Con if working on Dungeons & Dragons must be like a bucket list, given that I love the game. And I said, when I was a kid, I wanted to meet the people that worked on D&D. I wanted to meet the people that worked on Conan the Barbarian or my favorite superheroes. It's an impossibility that I would ever be those people. That can't happen. And so I'm living my, you got how many save games you guys got on here? You guys taking up all the memory. That guy has seen better days, I'll tell you what. Like, that guy is really, that is me after a day at Comic-Con. That's what that is. That dude is like, he's all of us. Poor Shadowheart. You got a rough ride. Sorry I'm jumping ahead, but I guess I'll try and pull the lid off. Oh, put your back into it, boy. What's wrong with you? Geez, Lae'zel's so unimpressed. I would be unimpressed too. Strength, don't give up. Tear this thing open. Dun, 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 dun. But yeah, I've been doing the official D&D comics since 5th edition launched in 2014. The Young Adventurers Guides launched in 2019. And those are sort of like, it's like taking my memories of getting into D&D when I was 7 or 8 years old and supercharging them in terms of trying to bring that same excitement to kids. What I love about the game and the world and the potential for you to make your own things. And I think what I love about this game is that they've got a lot of that feeling of spontaneity and excitement and discovery. It's still a video game, so there are limits, obviously. But on the other hand, it has the DNA, it has the soul of real D&D storytelling and the chaos that you can get into. Man, the woman who does Lae'zel's voice is so good. She has like, is swearing. She's got resting bitch voice. Like just everything she says has got this nasty, sarcastic edge to it. I love it. Oh, sphincter, no. Why you gotta go there, sphincter? Sphincter, I just met her. All right. I'm getting spun around here. Storage is out of space. Stop it. We don't need a save game. Where we're going, we don't need a save state. We're just gonna live or die by the dice rolls. That's real D&D. Live or die by the dice rolls. None of this save point crap. You fail your saving throw and you get an axe in the face. That's called life. That's what I'm talking about. Fiery bolt. All right. What are we doing here? Lesser Hellsboar. That means there are greater Hellsboars, maybe medium Hellsboars. Hellsboar? That doesn't roll off the tongue. What are you doing? Provokes attack of opportunity. You know better, Jim. Don't be so stupid. All right. Dun. Someone's going to be watching this and they're going to be like, this guy makes D&D for a living? He sucks. He is not optimized in the slightest. He's not looting anything. He's not reorganizing his inventory for 45 minutes. That's the pure Baldur's Gate experience right there. Moving stuff around your backpack for 45 minutes, trying to figure out what to do. I mean that in a loving way, of course. You end up with so many items in this game. I had an entire bag just full of books. It was like I could burden my character with just books. because you can get books off almost every shelf and you can read them and stuff. It's ridiculous. I'm used to the late game where everyone's got multiple attacks. Right now we're just one attack a turn, slapping our way through this. Ugh. Let me ask you a question. All right. The worlds of D&D are so vast and strange, and the D&D is such a melange of different sword and sorcery influences. You know, it's Robert E. Howard and Fritz Leiber and Tolkien and all these other things, but it's also its own kind of weird, quirky, superhero-y kind of stuff. It's such a unique melange of literary and wargaming influences all kind of coming together. All the stuff that Dave Arneson and Gary Gygax were kind of nerding out about when they were in their youth. Now, 50 years later, because it's the 50th anniversary of D&D, it's become its own lexicon. Role-playing games are their own genres, and they've evolved in so many fascinating ways. It's so cool to think about where we're at now in terms of, the term role-playing game, obviously, D&D isn't just 50 years of one game, it's 50 years of an entire genre of games. Just so cool to think about. The Young Adventurers guides are primed to not just tell you what's important about D&D, but to show you this cornucopia of options and then allow you to discover them in your own pace, in your own way. We made the books very specifically to, you can open it at any spot and find something interesting and get this little bite-sized factoids of information. Most of the artwork in the Young Adventurers Guide was made fresh for the series. And so even if you're a longtime gamer, you can find new things to discover and new artwork to inspire you, which I thought was really, really important. And the books are in multiple languages now, so we get fan mail from all over the world and people telling us about, parents telling us how much their kids enjoy them, librarians and teachers telling us how useful they are as a storytelling tool, kids themselves talking about their stories and adventures. I can't get enough of it when some kids telling me about all the exciting things they've done and the decisions they made and how those created, these memories for them. And they don't see it that way. They're just caught up in the excitement. But it's one of the most enjoyable experiences that I can have is interacting with readers and hear that excitement, because it's not just my book, it's that my book series unlocked their own imagination and excitement on the page. It's very special in ways I can't fully articulate sometimes. Gotta get to the controls. Not enough movements. It's interesting too, the video games got such, it uses obviously the strict rules because you have to be consistent about it. In the actual games of D&D, you can be so much more freeform in terms of how you interpret combat or the spells or the structures. And so it's fascinating to see the choices that they're making to expedite certain parts of the game process and make it consistent with the rule set. And obviously, because of that, it's a much more strategic kind of a, whoops, somebody just got knocked down. That's not good. My character is doing death checks. What am I doing? Too busy talking, slopping my way through the easiest of tutorials. There we go. Get up, go to the controls, you dummy. Touch the controls and get that cinematic going. Can you imagine driving with these controls? Like, where's the stick shift? Manual, automatic. What do I do with this? Well, good news. You take these two little crab pieces and you just sucker them together, and then you turn the ignition. And you're like, man, that is a hell of a system you guys have built there. The Illithid, one of the coolest creatures in D&D, the mind flayers, disgusting Lovecraftian-esque psychic monsters. Whoops, gravity not included. When I was playing through the alpha of this game, most of the cinematics weren't finished. So you would have these like unfinished textured pieces flying by, or animations where characters were just stone-faced even when they were supposed to be screaming or crying. And it was very surreal. You would be playing through and still engaging, weirdly enough, even if it was like unfinished special effects or whole chunks of missing dialogue. And you're like, I'm still in it. I'm still wrapped with attention, despite all the ridiculousness of seeing all the unfinished pieces, seeing all the duct tape and cardboard. It's like being on a movie set and everything looks perfect, and then 10 degrees to the left or right, it's just garbage everywhere, you know, all the lighting and scaffolding. The D&D fandom now is so diverse and so all-encompassing. There are so many people playing these games now, and realizing what I think, you know, I realized as a kid is how fun it is to make these memories with your friends and family. And I love hearing that stuff. I love hearing that it's bringing people together and giving them these great memories. And again, I think that's what is so cool about this game, is they've been able to really take those intrinsic pieces that make D&D special and carry it through very, very well. Everything in you know, a video game is different from a novel, is different from a movie, is different from a guidebook. So it's adaptation is tough, and what to pick and what to choose and what to keep and what to lose, you know, that's all part of it. It's a delicate balance, I think, even at the best of times. Well, Shadowheart's around here somewhere. I'll get some glare going. But first, I'm going to take money off a dead man. A time-honored tradition. There's a term in Dungeons and Dragons, because it can get sometimes, you know, you're gathering treasure and you're building your character, and inevitably every combat you're looking for treasure and whatnot. There's this terminology in the business called murder hobos, that everyone's just like pack rats taking everything and stealing and compiling as much power as possible. It can be a little ridiculous. They do a surprising good job again at channeling that here in the game, but they also put a morality on it, which is kind of nice as well. Man, the quality of this game is ridiculous. And the full performances of the characters. You know, Larian did they did a series of games called Divinity. Divinity 2 is a really cool game, and the combat is almost as good as this one, but it doesn't have this movie-style camera, you know, play. And the difference in terms of how connected you feel to the characters and their emotional state, because they're acting it out and the camera's intimately getting close or moving, you know, through the dialogue chain. It's really powerful stuff compared to their previous games, which are very high quality, but this one just hits a whole other level. Hence why it took them so long to make it. You know, there's a meme that goes around about playing D&D, and that when you're a dungeon master, you're just describing all sorts of cool things. And here they've got to spend years modeling everything in 3D. They're modeling out, you know, every single object, every rock, every tree. They're going to build all this stuff, whereas I just tell you, you're in a cool forest. My budget is infinite, you know, when I'm playing the game. And imagination's so good about that. Lots of dead people everywhere and stealing their stuff. The actual play stuff is wonderful, because now, when I was growing up, there was a bottleneck. If you didn't know someone who was a dungeon master, just reading the books could be really difficult in terms of giving you clear understanding of how the game works, because it's like make-believe with rules. Whereas the actual plays are great because now you can see the clear examples over and over and over again. But those production values are a bit of a curse in other ways too, because then everyone, I mean, you're talking about, in many cases, professional actors or improv people, voice actors, the whole 10 yards, and your goofball friends are probably not going to be, doing that sort of stuff. So it can be a bit of a, not a mistake, but people's expectations that you're going to get this bespoke Lord of the Rings quality narrative on your first go through. And it's like, that ain't it. That ain't how it works, But on the other hand, like I said, being able to bring people into the game is so cool. Whoops. I am not paying attention, of course. Oh yeah, crush them. But again, I think that's what's so fun about the actual game books is, again, you're going to find your own way in terms of the game. You're going to find your own way in terms of how you like to play, whether you want to do a combat heavy kind of game or you want to do a more acting kind of centric approach. Oh, where am I going? There's a path up there. Yeah, there we go. I am hurt though. I should probably camp now that I think about it. Can I camp? I cannot camp yet. Oh no. Oh no. Oh well, maybe I will die. There has to be, in narrative, of course, there has to be risk. And in D&D, there has to be risk. I think sometimes people, they want to have their characters be super powerful and cool, and that's fine, but I kind of like characters who are a little weaker and on their back feet, show us their best when things aren't always going well. It was fascinating looking at the early story documentation for Baldur's Gate 3 and what they thought it would be. Every plan works right up until execution. It's like every war, battle plan survives right up until you're on the ground. And so some key stuff is obviously stuck around in a big way, but other things are completely different. The relationships between characters and when and where they were when you meet them, their subplots, how they tie into the overall kind of thing, changed in quite a bit. And so it was interesting to sort of see those evolutions and talk about them with the crew, both at Wizard of the Coast and Larian, while we were working on tie-ins. There's a version of this where you can accidentally tear Gale's arm off, and that is one of the most comedy gold things you can do in this game. I almost wished I had failed and torn his arm off. Oh well. He changed a lot. In the early alpha, Gale had a completely different face, which was weird. Now, you just get used to one thing. Don't trust him. Draw your weapon. No. Every D&D is collaboration, and obviously massive games like this with got hundreds of staff working on this game. Everyone puts a little piece of themselves into it. Because I'm doing comic books as well. I'm not. The mistake that people make is I think they think that a comic book is like a novel in the sense, well, I'm the author, so I'm the person whose name is on the cover. But there's multiple people's name on the cover. It's a collaboration between all of us. The artist has such a huge role to play in the way a comic book's going to look and feel. And I can write all sorts of cool stuff, but then they're interpreting that in those visuals and the panel-to-panel storytelling. So, I always say our job is communication and entertainment. And the first people I have to communicate with and entertain is my collaborators, my editor, the licensors, the art team. Everyone needs to know why we're doing this particular thing and what it entails, because otherwise it ain't gonna work. Okay, hold on, I don't want to use that. I want to talk to him. Why is he not following us? Great. Gale's default spells kind of suck, but Whatever. Why isn't he? Okay, follow me, buddy. Come on. Can we camp yet? I don't remember when the camping starts. No, wrong controls. Oh God, we can camp. And short rest. Let's camp. My wife's been playing through Baldur's Gate 3, and she is absolutely obsessed with all the outfits that you can get for the characters. It's like paper dolls. She's just like dressing all of her crew up into the most fashionable of options. But it's hilarious because I know the game pretty well, but she knows everything in terms of where stuff's at. I am not quite as min-maxy on my fashion business. Let's rest. Yeah, someone's gonna watch this and they're gonna be like, Jim is the least optimal Baldur's Gate player because I'm just steamrolling it while I chatter.
What character class did you even end up with?
Barbarian. I randomized it, so it's fine. The rage stuff is hilarious. Watch your damn mouth. One of the things that my wife will do as well when she's playing, she'll usually read her lines out loud like she's talking to the television, and then the options, which is, it feels like she's having a conversation with the game, which is delightful. Watch the flames in silence. This is also, man, this game is very humpy. There's a whole lot of romance in this game, and the fans love it. They love it to pieces. So that's kind of crazy. I saw tons of cosplayers for Baldur's Gate at the show. They're everywhere. It's wild to me. Yeah, it was fun doing the D&D panel and seeing so many people in costumes and stuff. Super amusing. I love it. Did you know that we're out of storage space? Are you aware of this? I'm just kidding. So because I wasn't paying attention, at some point we lost Shadowheart and I don't know exactly where, which is kind of stupid of me, but whatever, we'll find her. She's wandering around, getting in trouble. Is she on the map even? Weird. Did I say something stupid to her when I wasn't looking? Was I like flake off and die? Like, am I that ugly? Like, come on, lady. That's fine. It's fine. We don't need a cleric. Why would I want healing? Clearly, I don't need healing. Normally, when I don't play very much D&D, I usually am the dungeon master. But when I do play, I love playing fast-talking jerks. Of course, because I'm such a kindly soul, I need to act against my kindly nature. So I'll play, bards or rogues, all sorts of stuff. Doing this combat with two people is a terrible idea. I am not doing that. I need a Asterion. I need some backstab action. Man, people love Asterion. Holy crap, people love Asterion. And the voice actor for Asterion, that guy is a rock star now at conventions. People are like, wow, his voice, they love him. They love him. It's terrifying. Barbarian persuasion feels like an incongruency, but sure, okay. I guess I'm persuading with muscles. Well, I was only at 5, it's pretty easy. Get out, go. There's a ton of tieflings in this. Join me or die. Wow. Okay. I guess we're gonna kill innocent people for you, Lae'zel. Thanks for coming out. Good old Gith Yankees. Good old Gith Yankees. It's funny, the Gith are, wow, Gale's almost dead. Holy crap. We just got an AE is made of tissue paper in this. I'm used to much higher level characters. Firebolt in 55%. Did you even go to magic school? Jeez, man. Oh man. Come on. Not enough movement. Go cream. This poor person who didn't really do anything wrong. My moral compass is flailing. Oh yeah, I do love that about this game, that you can make some just horrific choices, and then have to live with the repercussions of them, for better or for more amusing. Oh, come on, don't. Oh man, pushing people is the best, by the way. Throwing people off cliffs is the most fun you can have in combat. Just chucking people off really high. I'm a bad person. Look myself in the mirror and won't even know who I am. All right. Yeah, my wife, when she's playing this too, and she has to make those terrible choices, I can hear her. She's like, "No, don't make me do it." It's awesome. I love the excruciating, difficult choices. Like here, I'm hunting down essentially a relatively innocent person. Oh no, Lae'zel's just gonna wax her. Oh no, things are gonna go poorly for you. What's amazing about the game and what's amazing about D&D is it literally is different every time. You may have different experiences going to see a movie with a different group of people or friends or things like that, but it's still the same movie that you're watching. Every time you play an RPG, you make different choices, and especially the complicated choices in Baldur's Gate. But then at the gaming table with your friends and family, it's amazing. The repercussions of those choices, or one die roll can completely upend the narrative in ways that you never ever could have imagined and never would have planned for. And in some ways it's so much better because of that, because you can't plan for it, because you can't control every single aspect of the game. The randomness is part of the joy in many ways. And I think that that's something that I've always loved about role-playing games. And the improvisational nature of it, that you have to go with the flow and find the answers to the problems or entertainment out of the most crazy things. That's something that's really special to me about role-playing games. And in a creative career where you can get thrown a lot of curveballs, being able to be spontaneous is very, very powerful stuff. So thanks, D&D, for teaching me how to deal with life's critical failures.